Today is the 7th of October 2013. My name is Ben Fielden and this interview is for Ming-ai London Institute, British Chinese Workforce Heritage Centre. Can I begin by asking your name?
Yes, my name is William Santos.
And whereabouts were you born?
I was born in Hong Kong.
And could you tell me a little bit about your family?
Well, in my family I have one elder sister and one younger sisters. We have 5 boys in between. I am the second in the family. My mother's actually British and my father's Portuguese. So what we used to call myself is Eurasian.
And how did your parents come to be in Hong Kong?
Well, after the war, they were in Hong Kong already. So my grandfather was in Hong Kong. He was with the police force in Hong Kong, and between the war, he died. So both my parents was in Hong Kong.
And when did you join the army?
Well, I joined the army in July 14, 1978.
And what motivated you to join the army?
Well, I couldn't study very good at that time, and I didn't want to study. I would like to work with my pair of hands and everything. And my father didn't like that. He works with the Correctional Institute in Hong Kong, as we call the prison service. And I wanted to join the prison service, but he didn't allow me to join. So I decided to leave the family.
And can you tell me about your first day when you joined the army?
Well, when I received the letter from the British Army, I was very happy. I did not tell my parents until the last day. I told my mother that I was leaving for the training. And when I went to the British Army, which was in Lai Mun Barracks in Hong Kong, and when I went in, there was a lot of people waiting, queuing, and then I was still thinking, why am I here? But because I want to have a place to stay and know about what is the army is about. And I was very curious about that. And I think it was a holiday camp or something like that. But unfortunately, I found out it wasn't.
And what training did you get when you joined?
Well, on the basic training in the army, we had physical training, we have weapon training, we have tactics training, and also we have English training. The English training is, as they called it, the English colloquial tests, English studies, and drill, and all sorts of things the army do. But these are the most important that a recruit needs to finish by that 6 months. Sorry.
And how did your army career develop? For example, what rank are you now, and how did you get?
Well, when I left the army, I was a training sergeant in the depot in the new Stonecutter Island, which is now the garrison of the Chinese garrison. That is the rank I got when I left the army.
And were there any wars or riots that happened during your service?
Well, in my service, there was also there's a war in Falkland Island, which we had. I was a training sergeant. We were called to stand by, and we were training the Gurkha. I was training Gurkhas on NBC, the nuclear biological training, and also there in my tour there was in Hong Kong there was a taxi riot in Mongkok, which we were standby, but unfortunately we were not called out because the local police had dealt with everything.
So did you ever participate in any sort of action?
Well, not in my tour.
And did you ever hear anything back from the front line?
Well, we do have information from the our service that how, like when they were in Falkland, when they had the war, how it was going, and what casualty we had, and things like that. We were quite concerned because we are part of that life, right? As an army man, we do hope that the war finish earlier and our colleagues are back safe. So we are concerned on that.
And would you say there are any unforgettable experiences that you had whilst in the army?
Well, experience is that when you join the army, you go. I've been to Brunei. I've been to some of the training in Australia and also in UK. That's a lot of memories that hit you. You miss your friends, like the British garrison, and when we train in Warmisters, we do have our own section, and when you leave it, it's a very sad day for us because we don't see each other. It's so big, the garrison, right?
And did you receive any punishments whilst
Well,
training?
for a soldier in the army, we do have some ups and downs. We do have some punishment that you may be drunk on 1 day or 2 days. But we punctually we get a call out from the sergeant major, and then we're there. But as you grown up to a sergeant, your discipline, your action runs with your men. So I was there with discipline and everything. So it's okay.
And did you ever receive any harassment or bullying whilst in the army?
I have never heard of any harassment, and also myself, I've never come across with that. And everybody was very helpful. Of course, when you are on a parade or on a physical endurance, sergeant do chase you a lot. I don't think that is a harassment or a bully, because they need to push you through your line.
And could you describe a typical day whilst you were serving? What your schedule would have been like?
Well, the typical day is that I've never, when I joined on the first week, and the second week came when they told me that I have to swear against, with the British flag, that we serve our Queen. That was the typical day. I was telling myself, why am I there? Am I going to do it? I thought of it, but I chosen to serve with the government.
And what would what was the food like when you were serving in the army canteens?
The food. Well, I think the army feed the boys very good. We have a lot of food and everything. We have good days, we have bad days. The bad days is that when you go out to field training, you don't have hot food and things like that sometimes. But we, as time goes by, we learn that no matter where you are, things are different. You need to cope with it. That is what we learn.
And what would you do for recreation?
Recreation, normally in the army, we do not leave the barracks because the barracks is our home when you're single and things like that. So most of the time we do play football, volleyball, basketball, and everything, or start running because we need to keep ourselves fit. So running is the most important.
And how much did you get paid per month whilst you were
Well, when I joined, it was Hong Kong dollars, $500 for 1 week. Okay, we pay weekly on table pay, and they have a deduction, as I remember, is it's around $50 to $60 for fooding. Okay, so I think it's very good. It's a very good pay at that time, right? Comparing that time, but not now.
And did you make any good friends whilst you were in the army?
Good question. I made a lot of good friends, and I do miss a lot of them because we are scattered all around the world, in Canada, Australia, and everything. But we do get along on, like now, emails, tangles, or something like that. we do get along.
And what were your superiors like, and how were you treated by them?
Well, when we are in the army, when I was a recruit, they are very strong. They are worse than my father. Because at that time, I think I was always asking, why are they shouting every day? Why are they pushing us every day? And by the end of the passing out parade, I know what they mean.
Can you explain?
Well, the only thing is that they push you to your limit. They want you to go through your limit, okay? That is how you grow, and that is what I am now.
And what was your work ethic, and where did it come from?
You mean?
What motivated you?
I think looking at my platoon sergeant, and also looking at the colleagues I have, and that we working as a team that I've never done before. I was always working on my own when I wasn't in the army, and I think I can do everything myself. And gradually, when I actually look upon all these things happening, I know it's not easy first, and I need to work with people together and understand people more.
And is there anybody or anything that has had a special effect on your military career?
You mean, in what way you mean?
Anybody, any of you might have served with?
Well, I served with a lot of people. As I say, my platoon sergeant was one of the guys I always remember. He keeps shouting, but I know in his heart he looks after us very well. And with other colleagues, and like Benson, Benson was taught by me when I was a training corporal. He came out, he joined the army, and I taught him. And I can see him grown up very much. And I am happy to see him growing up, and the rest of the team too.
Did you have a good relationship with your subordinate?
Well, I need to put it this way, that in the army life, when there is work and duty, there is always a ranking in between. Okay, that's an order, it's an order. But when you are out of work and you are enjoying yourself, we are friends. So I do put it in two ways. One is when you are working, you work, you have ranking and discipline. And when you are a friend, you have your own life.
And do you have any membership to any clubs, any groups?
Well, I do have one club which I joined when I was 14. That is the Royal Hong Kong Regiment, which is a volunteer soldier club. So I do have that. I still have another group of soldiers, volunteer soldiers, which is civilian people, which they are my friends.
And what have you done upon leaving the army?
Well, when I left the army, it was sad, but unfortunately I took the decision because of the change of the government of Hong Kong, the sovereignty, and I thought it very much that I should come out and start some business, but unfortunately business didn't work out very good as a sole agent in housing, and I started to join the security company, as I joined two large companies in Hong Kong, and I made myself from the bottom of a patrolling officers to a manager and worked my way up. On the last day of that 20 years, I was a general manager of a cash department.
And you said you worked in private security.
Yes.
How does that contrast with the military?
It is a long story, but I'll tell you short. When I came out, I always put myself as an army man. I've never changed, and discipline is always first. But in a civilian life, it doesn't cope well with that, because the more you shout, the more you push, the more you lose your man. So I had to adopt a change of civilian life when I came out. It works.
Do you understand the need
Well, the needs are to understand the people more, understand your job more again, because they are not army boys. They did not swear against the oath that we did, and they are only paid monthly. And if you push them too hard, they just leave. But vice versa, what I did was I had meeting with the boys, and I push a little bit. I hope that they can work with me, and I told them. And I asked them, so it's a two-ways program, me and my staff. So we came to an agreement. So we came to a very good, as I call it, a show.
And do you think the fact that you've been in the army influences how other people outside of the army might view you? Like,
well, with my career with the Army, 13 years, and the people I know, which I have been in the Army, they are always smiling. Here comes the Army boy, here comes the sergeant, and even the children I'm training, they will stand straight and talk to me in the eye and everything, because they know I'm a very straight sergeant.
And do you think there are any controversies about being in the army in Hong Kong?
You mean
the British Army?
Well, I think in the British Army, serving the British Army. Firstly, I am glad that I've chosen this job. Although we didn't serve long, and Hong Kong had to be given back to China. But I think it's a pride that the Hong Kong Chinese soldiers had did their part in Hong Kong, right? And people do respect us, and we did a lot. We did a lot for the government.
And how do you see your own identity as sort of fitting in with all of this, being in the British Army but in Hong Kong?
Well, it's very difficult to say, but what I could just mention is that I was born in Hong Kong. I served with the British Army in Hong Kong, and I think it is we won't have another chance to do that in life. So it has been there, and let's keep it there in your heart, not in your mind, but in your heart, that you have served with the British Army in Hong Kong.
And was it, just tracking back a little bit, was it the handover that sort of led you to leave the army?
No. It's not only the leftover, the changeover. It's that I done the army, and I was trying to do something for the children and things like that in Hong Kong. I like training. I'm a training sergeant. So I like very much to go out and train people. I think it's time that I want to go out and train and give people the best of the best.
And what lessons and experiences do you feel that you got from being in the army?
Firstly, is the discipline, which I don't have before. And I know discipline comes first. Secondly, is the knowing of people, understanding of the people, and sharing. Okay, there's a lot of things in there, listening to people, right, and working together. There are many times that you cannot walk alone. You need to walk together. And that is really the part of life.
And how do you feel about the Hong Kong or Chinese role in remembrance ceremonies?
I think, firstly, as I've mentioned, is that my grandfather had died in the World War, is to pay respect to him, and also it is a time that we should respect the people who have fought for us, no matter where they are, right? Who they are, we should respect them, and that Remembrance Day is that time that we show our respect.
And that's everything that I have to ask you. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
No, I am actually very happy today to do this interview, and I hope that the interview will help a lot with the Hong Kong Chinese soldiers, and hope that people will understand us more. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time.